you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Yeah, buddy, that would be yours truly, Travis Bridges, and this is The Swimming Pool. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm coming on your screen in 3, 2, 1. I kind of sort of like to do that because it just kind of allows me to have fun with my controls here. As you can see, let me just show you around my studio a little bit. We're going to go to this camera and then we're going to talk over here. And I'm putting this here only because very soon I'm going to be coming back with my saxophone and I'm going to need a couple of different shots, like for instance, this one. And when I do that, I'm going to be switching cameras and I'm going to be playing my saxophone like I used to back in the old days of the COVID concert series. Y'all remember that? I certainly do. Well, that's when back in the day. Whoa, what are we doing here? Where's my camera? Come on. Really? Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. I'm trying to show off. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah, back in the COVID concert series is when I used to rock and roll, on my saxophone. And in case you're just you're a new subscriber, what used to happen is I used to come on with my saxophone. And after playing so many of the same songs so many times in so many different ways, I just thought I would switch it up and dig into my radio skills. And I created the swimming pool. I remember I used to talk at the end of my live streams and I would kind of sort of be in the dark. And I thought, that's kind of cool. I'm kind of talking to people. And I had the vision then. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but this is what it's kind of sort of morphed into, and it's going to get better. I promise you that. I remember when I got 100 subscribers, I thought I was somebody. I was all over the place like, whoa, I got 100 subscribers. Now I've got over 550, and I think that's how it's supposed to grow. Anything that happens too fast, as they used to say, easy come, easy go. Well, all of my subscribers are real and true. Most of them are people that I've actually met out in the street by saying, hey, my name is Travis, and I have a live stream on Wednesday night. By the way, I just remembered something. On Monday, I did a community event with a community gym that's here that I am a member of. They had a back to school event and I participated. I went out and played and participated and supported them with the kids with the backpacks and all the school stuff they were doing. It was really a cool event. But while I was there, I saw some Boy Scouts, and that took me back to when I was a Boy Scout back in the day. And I just thought about it just as I was getting ready. Wednesday night was when I used to go to Boy Scout meetings. So it's like, well, why did you pick Wednesday night to do your live stream? I don't know. I guess it was inside of me. That's my childhood go to meeting day. So I like Wednesday night. It's the middle of the week. I like because it's hump day, it's just a cool night. But anyway, I do have a guest that's coming up, kind of sort of a mystery type guest. No subject yet. We're going to create the subject on the fly. So you want to stick around for this. It's going to be interesting. So to everybody that's tuned in, thank you so much. I can't see my chat list if anybody, whoa, I don't want to mess that up. But to everybody that's hanging out with me, the 5 other people, I appreciate it. I really, really do. I'm going to talk a little bit. I have something I want to share with you that's a little sensitive, but so work with me. If something fly in my eye, just bear with me until I get it out. But I'm going to take a short break and then I'm going to come back with the guest. But before I take the break, I want to share something with you that's kind of on my mind and on my heart. And I kind of want to do that just because this is therapy for me on Wednesday night. I'm hoping it'll help somebody. But right now, I'm helping myself by coming on, preparing this content and, working on it. But one of my favorite movies is Ray, the story of Ray Charles. And I have several favorite movies, and I have several favorite scenes from several movies. But one of the scenes in that movie was when Ray Charles was little and his mom took him and put him on the bus. By the way, if you haven't seen the movie, see it, watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. His mother had taken him as far as she could take him because, he developed this condition to where he could not see. and he had learned to play the piano from a guy in the community. But a hard time came when his mother had to send him away, and she was doing what was best for him. And Ray was just like not happy about that. He did not want to go and leave his mother and his home. But what mothers do is they do what's best for their children, even if it hurts them or hurts the children. So long story short, she put him on the bus and she said, promise me that you won't let anybody make you a cripple. And I remember young Ray said, I promise, Mama, I promise. And well, he went on, and of course, Ray Robinson became Ray Charles. He left home as Ray Robinson, but he went out and did his thing and became Ray Charles. And one of the scenes is where he was having a flashback. His mother came to him in one of these flashbacks, and as a little Ray, he went up to his mom, and his mom said, he said to his mom, he said, I kept my promise, Mama. She said, yep, you kept your promise. You went places I never thought you'd go. You did things I never thought you'd do. But she said, you know what? You still became a cripple. She was talking about the condition that he had developed with drugs. And it just broke his heart because young Ray really wanted to please his mother. And although the first thing he did was said, hey, Mom, I want you to be proud of me. He said, Mom, I kept my promise. And she said, yeah, you did. But you still became a cripple. The one thing I told you not to do. And as Ray began to think about it, he thought about it like, okay, yeah, I did become Ray Charles and I am somebody. But in my heart, I didn't do what my mother said to do. And it broke his heart. So he was in rehab from the drug condition that he had developed. And when he came to himself, key word there, when he came to himself, he realized that, yes, he was Ray Charles and he had gotten in trouble, with the drug condition. And he did not want to let his mother down. So that was when he decided to get off the drugs and then go on and become the person that he knew he was destined to be. I'm sharing that with you because I'm kind of sort of finding myself in that. I grew up in a place similar to Ray. I had a single mom. I had other siblings also. And, it was tough. And I remember one thing, many things my mother told me, but one thing she told me, she said, son, and she would pray. And I'm going to say this about my mom before I say this, when you look at my family condition, and my mother's situation, it doesn't look good. And whatever my mother did, she must have did it all before I became of age of knowledge and accountability. Because I remember my mom being a super fantastic, wonderful woman that I actually looked up to. Sometimes she got on my nerves. But I recall, by the time I was, in the third or fourth grade or so, and I started to be able to see my mother, whatever she had done, she had straightened it up, and she was not necessarily a religious woman, but, she insisted that we went to church and we participated, and, she lived her life to where she was a good enough example for me at that time to want to do better. But back to my point, she would say, even in her prayers, I would hear we would be in group prayer sometime with Mother Rogers. And then later, as I grew up, Mother Roundtree. I'm just giving out shout outs right now. But I remember one of her main prayers was, son, don't fall into the hands of man. I'm getting something's getting into my eye. So, I know I'm live, but I'm going to try to tell the story anyway. And I remember her praying, saying, God, don't let my children fall into the hands of man. And I didn't understand what she meant. She would always tell us, to stay in God's hands. And, I did my best, even as a teenager, to try to do the right thing, try to, to get my education and do everything right. But I find myself today in a place like, man, I did good things. I have a couple of CD projects. I've got my book on the way. I raised my son. I'm not in any, trouble. I don't have a drug problem. I need to watch my eating, watch my diet. But, for the most part, I think just as Ray Charles's mother would say, she said, yeah, I'm proud of you, but you still became a cripple. And I believe my mother today, if she looked at my life, not speaking for her, I'm just, speculating. I believe she would say she would be proud of me. But then as I think, she said, son, well, you might, you put yourself in a position to where, you might be on your way to being into the hands of man. And that's where I find myself. I have a couple of situations going on in my life where it's like, some of the choices that I made put me in a position to where at least, the hands are open. So as I reflect on my mother and Ray Charles, I believe I'm having one of those coming to myself moments where I need to stand on my own 2 feet and be proud of who I've become and who I am, and accept, the prayers that my mother prayed for me and the rest of my brothers and sisters too, and hold my head up and be strong. And regardless of, the traps that people set for you, keep your head up and be strong and and know who you are, know whose you are. And that's all that matters. So I didn't know I was going to get into this, so I'm kind of caught up in it. But with that being said, I sit here on this evening sharing my own testimony and even being vulnerable in front of my audience. I'm supposed to be tough and strong, but I'm sitting here, kind of in a vulnerable moment, realizing that, okay, I probably can do a little better. And I think, although I believe my mother is and would be proud of me if she was here, I've got to step up and do better and dig deep inside and stand on my own 2 feet. And just like Ray, when he came to himself, he didn't touch drugs ever again. That's not my problem. I don't have a drug problem. It's just, this hands of man thing. But when he came to himself and he remembered, the prayers and the wishes and the promise he made to his mother, although he became Ray Charles, he realized that I can do better. I can really do better. And it starts from on the inside. Forget what other people do and what they say or how they treat you. You have to respond to that. So as Ray came to himself and never touched drugs again and went on to be one of the greatest in the world, as far as I'm concerned, and definitely one of my favorites, I'm going to take that information and that advice and that example and do the same thing. And the nerve of me to be in a situation and trying to encourage you as my audience to do the same thing. You know who you are. You know what you believed and what some of the promises you made as a child, or even as an adult. We've got to find this place of where we don't let circumstances, situations, and people beat us up. We've got to come to ourselves and stand on our 2 feet and be okay with what we know, as opposed to, some of the hard knocks that life throws at us. So with that being said, hey, Christine, thank you so much. Christine is so faithful. You know what? Christine, you have no idea. I appreciate you. And Anthony Morrow, you too, man. Me and Anthony go way back to the D103 days. But anyway, I'm going to move on because I'm almost out of time, and I'm going to come back with my guest, and we're going to have a good time because it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to play 2 promos and 2.5. So don't leave. Stay with me, and then I'll come back with my guest. By chance, before I go, if you want to chat with me, you have a subject you'd like for me to talk about or that you'd like to talk to me about, send me an email to travisbridges2@aol.com. This is therapy for me. I believe it helps someone. If it doesn't today, it will at some point in time. I'm going to keep going. I still have a vision, a place that I want to go, and a place that I want this platform to be. It's about talking. It's about listening. It's hearing, making sure that you understand, when you communicate with people. It's unfortunate that, people have issues because they won't talk to each other. I don't understand that. And maybe that's why I'm here in this, season, to bring awareness to it. But anyway, I'll go and go to my break and come back with my guest. Don't move. Hold the spot you got. I'll be right back.